Good evening. I'd like to call the Village Council meeting for Monday, January 9th, 2017 to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Present.
Commissioner Reed.
Present.
Commissioner Polk.
Yep.
Commissioner Pavladis.
Here.
Mayor Mahoney.
Here, thank you. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have in your packets this evening, council members, draft of the minutes from our previous meeting on December 12th. Questions, comments? If not, I would seek a motion to approve at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Any motion, a second. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Yes.
Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Yes.
Commissioner Polk.
Yep.
Commissioner Pavladis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes. Thank you. Recognition, proclamations, appointments, and presentations. Citizens on Patrol, COPS recruitment. Crowhurst, would you like to speak on that matter? I see you in the audience there. Welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you and to all the council members.
Hey, Tom.
First and foremost, I don't know if most of you people in this room know, but today is National Appreciate a Police Officer Day. So when you see a police officer and he pulls you over on the way home, make sure you say thank you to him for doing his job.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay? With that, I would like to say that if some of the members of our group would come up, these are some of our newest members that are part of our organization. There are some fledglings in our group. Our group is now going into its 18th year. And we would like to thank Chief Miller and past police commissioners for allowing our organization to be a part of the police department. We've been there, like I said, for nearly 18 years now. And the leadership and invaluable knowledge that Chief Joe has given our group is really amazing to those of us who are just plain citizens and get to see and understand what it takes to be a part of law enforcement. And Chief, we really appreciate your guidance in that over these years. Thank you so much. Thank you. We meet the last Friday of every month right here at the police station at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. And anybody that is interested in being a part of our program can call the police department at 671-3770. With that, you will be given an understanding of what police do in our community, and that you can be a part of helping keep our community safe. So those who are interested in our program, please contact the police department, as I said. And thank you to you all for giving us the time to let you know what we do. Thank you.
Well, thank you for giving us all the time.
Have to investigate that. Tom, don't leave. I have a couple quick questions for you that
Yes.
come up periodically.
Commissioner Polk.
Do you have to be a citizen of Palos Park to be on cops?
No, you do not. Although Chief will put you through a very rigorous investigation, but you do not have to be a member of Palos Park itself. Because I myself live one block out of the village of Palos.
We know, and it's bothering us. But a couple of
I
other.
can thank one of our
This
members
bothers me, Tom.
for getting me involved with the Citizens on Patrol program. One night as I left my house, I noticed a vehicle stuck out in the mud in the field, and I just happened to go by a police officer and stop and informed him of there was a vehicle stuck out in the mud, and it just happened to be my neighbor in his new four-wheel drive vehicle.
Nice.
Trying to show it off to his kids.
Nice. A couple of other quick questions.
Yes.
Are there age limitations, lower limit, upper limit?
You have to be at least 21 years of age to be a part of the organization, yes. As far as old, no. I'm old, and many of our members are, so.
Do you have to carry a firearm?
No, we are not allowed to do that. We do not do police work. What we do is we're just like average citizens. When we see something that is questionable to us, what we do, we have radios, a sideband radio, which puts us in contact with police cars that are on patrol, and we can call in and say what we see, and they determine whether it is worthwhile for them to investigate. And of the calls that I've had in, we've never been turned down, except for the fact that maybe they're on a call somewhere else and doing something that they can't get there right away.
Do they only patrol at night?
No, you can patrol, we patrol all hours of the day, and it's very interesting.
And is it restricted to to particular days of the week? In other words, if you have a schedule and you can only do it on a Tuesday between 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the evening?
You can so do so, yes, as long as the chief will allow it.
And are people typically paired up?
Yes, all of us have a partner which we ride in the car with. Very seldom have I ever been out alone myself. Periodically, I do that, and my partner does that at times too. A lot of times, if you show up alone, you ask the chief or the supervisor, and if they will let you, you can ride along with them.
And are you in marked squad cars?
No, we patrol in our own individual vehicles, which I think helps out, and has in the past helped us out, turn in individuals that may be doing something that is not quite lawful.
Thanks so much for your service, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
If for some reason you don't like the telephone and you would like to do this electronically, dpolk, D-P-O-L-K, at palospark.org, we'd be happy to hook you up.
Thank you, COPS. My second item is a proclamation I'd like to read regarding Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. Oh, you, okay. You stood up for COPS, so I wasn't sure. I'm going to read the proclamation, and then if you have comments after that.
I have this little speech that I can,
Okay, you want to do that before or after?
after.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to read the proclamation. This is proclaiming the month of January 2017 as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Palos Park. Whereas the Village of Palos Park joins the Survivor Organization and numerous organizations, agencies, and health professionals in recognizing National Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, an observance that promotes education about cervical cancer causes, treatments, and screenings. Whereas each year, more than 500,000 women worldwide develop cervical cancer, and about 275,000 women die from the disease. The majority of these deaths occur in developing countries. And whereas there will be an estimated 12,990 new cases of invasive cervical cancer that will be diagnosed in the United States of America in 2016, and about 4,120 of these are estimated to succumb to the condition. Whereas most cases of cervical cancer are found in women younger than 50, it rarely develops in women younger than 20. Whereas more than 15% of cases of cervical cancer are found in women over 65, and whereas there are currently 2 types of tests that provide an early warning system for cervical cancer, a Pap test and an HPV test. And whereas the Illinois Breast and Cervical Cancer Program offers free breast, mammogram, and pelvic exams, along with Pap tests, diagnostic services, and referral treatment options to eligible, uninsured, and underinsured women. And whereas I urge the people of our village and state to learn more about the human papilloma virus, HPV, and preventative measures such as vaccines like the Gardasil shot, proper gynecological health screening such as the HPV screening, the annual PAP test, the well woman exam, and the importance of early detection to prevent invasive cervical cancer disease. Therefore, I, John Mahoney, Mayor of the Village of Palos Park, do hereby proclaim January 2017 as Cervical Awareness Month, encourage all women to receive regular screenings, and invite each citizen to join the continued fight against cervical cancer.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney, for issuing the proclamation by acknowledging January as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. Good evening. My name is Catherine Cochran, and I was diagnosed with advanced stage 3B cervical cancer in September of 2015. By asking Mayor Mahoney to issue the proclamation on cervical cancer awareness, I hope to spread the word not only to the women in the village of Palos Park, but also to others on the importance of yearly gynecological exams, the knowledge of the human papillomavirus, the HPV vaccine, and the importance of the HPV vaccine for our children aged 9 through 26, for both girls and boys, in curtailing cervical cancer in the future. As stated in the proclamation, nearly 13,000 women have been diagnosed with cervical cancer in the United States alone last year. In addition, with that figure, over 33%, just a little over 4,000 women have died. Worldwide, the figures are staggering, with well over 550,000 women diagnosed and roughly 225,000 succumbing to the disease each year. According to the CDC, when cervical cancer is found early, it is highly treatable and associated with long survival and good quality of life. While large cell and small cell carcinomas make a small percent of cervical cancer, there are two main types of cervical cancers: squamous cell carcinoma and adenocarcinoma. And nearly 81% of all cervical cancers are directly linked to the human papillomavirus. Human papillomavirus, HPV, has been known to the medical field since the mid-1950s. In 1984, a German scientist, Harald Zerhausen, discovered that certain strains of HPV, types 16, 18, 11, and 6, and with 16 and 18 to be a direct link to the causal agent of cervical cancer in females, and attributes to over 90% of HPV-related cancers in males. 22 years later, in 2006, two vaccines were put into the market, Gardasil and Cervarix. Inoculations were first by the Australians and then followed by the United States. The vaccine is to inoculate the children and young adults, boys as well as the girls, in order to curtail the spread of the HPV and its cancer-causing strains. Today, in 2017, both Australia and the United States are seeing tremendous and positive breakthroughs, with nearly 60% decrease of HPV-related cases within the target age group that were inoculated within the last 10 years. Hopeful that by 2050 to eradicate the strains within HPV that cause cervical and below-the-belt cancers, along with the 90% of HPV-related cancers found in males. Again, knowledge is power in all aspects of cancer, and with this being Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, it is important for the men and women not only in our village but everywhere to remind women of all ages, our moms, our girlfriends, our sisters, significant others, our nieces, and yes, even our grandmas. Cervical cancer and all cancers hold no bounds to age. Everyone is susceptible. Empower these ladies to schedule their gynecological exams yearly. Inquire to the doctor on the human papillomavirus, how to get screened and when, the importance of the HPV vaccine, and how HPV today relates towards that 81% of cervical cancer diagnoses. Together, we can help lower this percentage by advocating through prevention, knowledge, and awareness. On behalf of all my teal and white ribbon sisters, the Survivor Organization, the American Cancer Society, the CDC, the National Cervical Cancer Coalition, the National Cancer Institution, and many other distinguished organizations, I thank you, Mayor Mahoney, for issuing the proclamation and recognizing January 2017 as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month here in our village of Palos Park.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for bringing this to my attention. My family's been personally affected by this issue. These are our mothers, our sisters, and our daughters, right? whatever we can do. And I love the fact that your proclamation had all kinds of information that anyone listening could glean something that would help them, early detect. So I'm very pleased that you took the time to contact me, and every little bit makes a difference. So thank you very much. Hearings. Zoning Board of Appeals, case 2016-3. The Zoning Board of Appeals met on Wednesday, December 14th, 2016, to consider the variance request of David and Amy Hinkes on the property commonly known as 9302 West 122nd Street in Palos Park. The ZBA voted 4-0 with 2 abstentions to recommend approval, or absences to recommend approval of the variance request.
We missed it on, John.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yes.
Thank you. As soon as I finish this, we'll get to that. One of the conditions is to have lots 1 and 2 consolidated. Given the holiday season, the plat of consolidation wasn't finalized and filed with the village. The ZBA did announce at its December 14th meeting that ZBA case 2016-30 would be considered at the village council's January 9th, 2017 meeting today. As the village did not receive all the necessary materials, this matter will not be heard tonight, but rather at the village council meeting next, which is January 23rd, 2007. We have another proclamation, which is Palos Park School Choice Week. This proclamation commemorating January 22nd through the 28th, School Choice Week. Whereas all children in Palos Park should have access to the highest quality education possible, and whereas Palos Park recognizes the important role that an effective education plays in preparing all students in Palos Park to be successful adults, whereas quality education is critically important to the economic vitality of Palos Park, whereas Palos Park is home to a multitude of excellent education options from which parents can choose for their children, whereas educational variety not only helps to diversify our economy, but also enhances the vibrancy of our community. Whereas our area has many high-quality teaching professionals who are committed to educating our children, whereas School Choice Week is celebrated across the country by millions of students, parents, educators, schools, and organizations to raise awareness of the need for effective educational options. Therefore, I, John Mahoney, Mayor of the Village of Palos Park, do recognize January 22nd through 28th of 2017 as Palos Park School Choice Week, and I call this observance to the attention of all of our citizens. All right. We did talk about the ZBA hearing, so I'm going to move directly to our consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine or have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Commissioners and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item A, to ratify payment of invoices on the warrant list dated December 26, 2016, in the amount of $225,805.16. Item B, to approve payment of invoices on the warrant list dated January 9, 2017, in the amount of $469,325.77. Item C, to approve the supplemental warrant list dated January 9, 2017 for manual checks, payroll, and recurring wire transfers in the amount of $335,018.01. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda at this time.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Commissioner Milovich Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Commissioner Pavlovich?
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney?
Yes. Any old business to be brought before the council at this time? Information and updates, Public Works and Recreation, Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney, and Happy New Year, everyone. I just have one item that is on the agenda. It's regarding the purchase of a new trailer. The Public Works Department would like to purchase a new trailer to carry small equipment. The trailer will also have the capacity to dump, so we can carry smaller loads of materials. Public Works does not currently have a trailer that can also dump. We've requested prices from several local equipment companies. We received 2 proposals. Morris Trailer Sales from Morris, Illinois submitted a price of $7,038, and Russo Power Equipment from Schiller Park submitted a price of $6,162.99. This money was budgeted in the 0.5% sales tax fund under operating equipment. So we are hoping to get approval to purchase the tandem dump trailer with a 14,000-pound capacity from Russo Power Equipment in the amount of $6,162.99. Just a little additional, we don't have a trailer this size. This is a little smaller. It will be able to carry the hot box that we purchased to do repairs on the road. Also will be better for us when we're taking maybe stuff out to the Village Green, not having to use such a heavy vehicle or a heavy trailer. That way not destroying all the nice work that we've just done there. And those are just 2 options of ways to use it, and we've got plenty of other needs for it. Anybody have any questions? I'd like to make a motion to purchase this 14,000-pound capacity tandem axle dump trailer from Russo Power Equipment at the cost of $6,162.99.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? And I'm assuming this is budgeted,
In the 0.5% sales tax. Mhm.
so. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Commissioner Pavlovic? Yes. Mayor Mahoney?
Yes.
And now that we're into a new year, 2017, just a quick review of some of the big highlights of our Recreation Department in 2016. We have such an amazing group that worked there under the direction of Leanne Fisk. She brought in two new staff members, Josh Handelsman and Melissa Olgeres, which are great additions to our team. If you've been to any of our events, you've already seen them there. We ran 3,000 different programs and received 2,100 participants. We prepared 28 special events for the community. We had a brand new event, Love the Park Fine Arts Fair. We had a Hoppy Dog Egg Hunt and concert at the Cliff and a daddy-daughter dance. And those were new ones just in 2016. The Village Green had drain tile and new sod installed over 72,500 square feet of the Village Green, and it is gorgeous. Right now, it's solid and frozen, but we added more program and rental space within the Recreation Center by joining 2 rooms in the lower level. The lower level of the Recreation Center continues to be updated for attractive rental purchases. We've now purchased 12 round tables that can be used if you're having a party. Keeping the history of the Recreation Center alive, the Palos Parks Women's Club donated a plaque citing the history of the community house, or as we call it now, the Recreation Center. It's displayed in front of the facility, so when you go there, please take a moment to read about the history. And in keeping with that history, we renamed the rooms within the Recreation Center. The Wabash Room was named for the railroad. The Prairie was named for the Recreation Club. Community was named for the fact that it was a community house long ago, and the Forest Rooms. We created 127 rental permits, which brought in over $32,000. Centennial Park, which is the one that's west, now has a drinking fountain with a refillable water bottle station as well, or option on it. Centennial Park was named during the past summer as the home field for the Palos 11U Stampede Boys baseball team. 35 community businesses and partners supported our programs and events. The Forest Preserves of Cook County Partnership, created this year, allowed us to host our spring and fall fishing derbies at Papoose and Horsetail Lake. It allowed us to have concert at the Cliff at Swallow Cliff, Palos Fall Family Campout at the Bullfrog Lake Campgrounds, Family Cross Country Ski Day at Sagawau Environmental Learning Center, and the Family Winter Celebration at Crawdad Slough. Working with Palos District 118, the Kindergarten Kids Zone was developed to help working parents bridge their workday and their child's school day. The school district is transporting the students from the recreation center to their respective schools. So that is just the highlights of the things your recreation department did for you in 2016, and going forward we'll be doing this and so much more. So please come out and support them, support your community, and participate in the events and take classes and join in or rent the space for a party. But there's so many ways to get involved, so please get involved. And that concludes my report.
Excellent. Building and Public Property, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney. The building recap for the calendar year 2016, 330 building permits were issued throughout the calendar year. By working with the village, obtaining a permit, and having inspections, you are ensuring that your home is safe from potential building-related problems. Also, 681 inspections were completed during the calendar year, including building, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Homeowners can be assured that inspections made are to verify that all work is done properly. Also, 9 certificates of occupancy were issued, which include 2 interior home remodels, 2 new home construction after demolition, 3 new home construction, and 2 new commercial businesses. In addition to processing permits, the building department also staffs the Plan Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Historic Preservation Committees. During 2016, the Plan Commission met 3 times, hearing 4 different cases. The Zoning Board of Appeals met 3 times, hearing 2 different cases, and the Historic Preservation Committee met 2 times to hear 3 cases. The building department thanks all of the commission members for their dedication, time, and hard work. The building department processed 12 permits from December 9 through 30 of 2016, resulting in $4,253.40 of permit fees. 14 inspections were also completed during the aforementioned period. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner. Public Health and Safety Report, Commissioner Polk.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney. The monthly police activity report, which is actually spanning a little bit longer period of time since we didn't have a December 26th meeting. So from December 12th through yesterday, January the 8th, we had 2,101 calls for service, wrote 23 adjudication tickets and an additional 9 traffic tickets. 39 case reports, arrested 6 adults, no juveniles, no vehicle impounds, performed 53 senior checks, an additional 75 citizen assists, thank you Snow, and 49 community contact hours. So in keeping with the 2016 wrap-up, Palos Park Police Department responded to 28,386 calls, wrote 716 adjudication tickets and an additional 580 tickets. We started that adjudication program 2 years ago? Yes. Almost. And the reason that we write 2 different kinds of tickets is whatever we can keep in Palos Park in terms of convenience for people as well as some local control. Those are the adjudication tickets, and whatever we can't typically goes to bridge views. But the last year or so, we've been writing more adjudication tickets than traffic tickets. 598 case reports. We arrested 178 adults in Palos Park. An additional 5 juveniles, impounded 77 vehicles, performed 403 senior checks, 796 citizen assists, and 702 community contact hours registered as such. So that's what the Palos Park Police Department's been up to for the last year. I'm not going to read this whole issue, but one of the things that we're particularly aware of this month, which started as a presidential proclamation in 2010, Each January is designated National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month. And it may surprise some people to know that there still is slavery and human trafficking going on, not just in the third world, but right here in Cook County. So we spend some time in education as well as officer awareness, but that's what we're particularly looking at this month. Chief Miller, do you have anything you want to add to the reports?
I just wanted to mention, I visited Mr. Walsh today, and he would love to see visitors. He's at Peace Village now, after recovering from an illness, and will probably be there for a month or 6 weeks or something. But he has a room at Peace Village and has the same home phone number. We just transferred there, but would love to have visitors.
Thanks very much. And that concludes our report.
Dan, if I may, you were talking about the Human Trafficking Awareness Month. I just wanted to mention out there, in case anybody happens to ever be at a event where there's a vendor sale and stuff, we've had these people at our Palos Park events in the past, and a lot of religious places like churches have events. If you ever see an organization called Women at Risk, this is exactly what they do. All the items they sell are made by women that have been rescued from human trafficking worldwide. And they then are given a skill to earn their own money, to have their own worth and value. And you're right, it's in the U.S., it's not just on the other side of the globe. So if you see this organization sponsoring or selling stuff at an event, Women at Risk, please, at least take a moment to read the literature and learn a little bit about it, because I've gotten friends involved in it, and it's really eye-opening to realize, it's happening right under our noses all the time. So that I just wanted to mention that.
Chicago is known as the hub in this country for human trafficking. I don't know if people realize that. It's the hub. From women from Asia, South America, and so forth. The State's Attorney's Office dedicates resources, as well as the Sheriff of Cook County, to try and deal with the problem and eradicate it.
And these people go out and rescue them too, when, police officers or, FBI, different organizations may not be able to do things in a certain way because they have to follow, strict laws. These people are regular people that also get others involved and maybe sometimes can get in there faster or differently and rescue the children as well. So they don't just help them after the fact, but they help rescue them too. So.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Accounts and Finances Report, Commissioner Pavlanis.
I have no formal report tonight, but I would like to make a couple of announcements. I think we've got some good news. McCord Gallery and Cultural Center had their first class today.
In the new
In
building.
the new building. And I was there to see it. It's really, really nice. It's giving them a lot more versatility than what they had. As one example, they've had music classes there for many years, since its inception, but they never had a place to showcase it. Now they have a stage in there that they've built, so they're going to be able to take some of the students and have student recitals, which is going to be pretty nice. They're also going to have special events over on the stage. As an example, on Sunday, February the 12th, Team Monday Cajun Band will be there. The McCord Music Students Recital is Sunday, February 19th. They have an open mic night on Friday the 24th. So 3 Fridays in a row, they're going to have things there. And if that is successful, they're going to continue doing that. And I think their classes, Beth Leahy taught the first class today, which was kind of nice at 9 o'clock. They're teaching watercolor and oil and drawing and pastels. John Howard's there, Gary Wick, Liz Wall is there, Beth Leahy, and others. So they're all pretty excited about the fact that they're finally in. I think it met their expectations and maybe a little bit more. They were very surprised that now they're going to have a gallery and they're gonna have teaching classrooms and things like that. In fact, they asked if I would, they have a silk painting with Karen Snow this Friday. It's gonna be for 3 weeks from 10 to 12:30. The fee is $50 for members and $60 for those who are not. I think it's the first time they're doing that. She's had some workshops there. So if you're interested, their number there is 708-671-0648, and it's www.accordgallery.org. So you can check for the rest of their scheduling. They're going to have some workshops and some classes starting actually today. So if you get a chance, stop by there and take a look at it. And that concludes my report.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I do not have any formal report tonight. Clerk Aragoni.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few announcements. The Zoning Board of Appeals will meet on Wednesday, January 11th at 7:30 to hear the request of Christoph and Anna Pizak for a side yard setback variance of 3.65 feet from the required 20.25 feet from Chapter 1268 of the Village Code to allow for the construction of an attached three-car garage on the existing family residence, also known as 8912 West 125th Street, Palos Park. And then Dennis, Jean, and Peter Leggett for a front yard setback variance of 19.36 feet from the required 100-foot setback from Chapter 1268 of the Village Code to allow for the construction of an addition to the existing single-family residence on the property commonly known as 12321 South Hobart, Palos Park. Palos Pension Board will hold their quarterly meeting on Monday, January 6th at 7 o'clock at the Captor Center. The Recreation Advisory Council will meet on Tuesday, January 17th at 10 o'clock at the Rec Center. The Historic Preservation Commission will not meet on Tuesday, January 17th. The Library Board will meet on Wednesday, January 18th at 7 o'clock in the library, and the Plan Commission will not meet on Thursday, January 19th. There. And I also would like to just mention that we had Senior Club today, and Bob Troy, who's a fraud investigator for Standard Bank, is our speaker. And it was an excellent PowerPoint presentation about identity theft, credit card fraud, phone fraud, and not only if it happens to you, but what do you do if it happens to you? It was an excellent presentation, and we're kind of dealing with the most trusting generation, and they were just kind of in awe of all that's going on and what can happen to you. So it was a very worthwhile presentation. It was really, really good. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Manager Boehm.
I've got 3 items for the council's consideration. And with the first one, we have a little bit of good news again. Our Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency, IRMA, 2017 annual contributions have been set at $82,362. I say this is good news because last year our contribution was at $93,001. In 2015, it was $89,658. I think this is what it shows here is that the village and the village staff has done a very good job in making sure that we operate in a very safe manner, that we hold our risks and a risk exposure to a minimum, that we're doing everything in our power to get our experience as best as it can be. Experience being not a lot of claims. So there's the contribution IRMA has set for next year, for this calendar year, is $82,362. The village has a surplus credit available of $155,508. These monies may be used to offset the 2017 contributions in part or in whole, or left in the IRMA account to earn investment income. The council has seen fit in the past few years is to use a portion of this investment income to offset some of our our annual contribution demand from IRMA, and we still seem to make pretty good return on our investment. So what we have done in the past, last year the village used $53,001 of its reserve to offset our 2016 premium, resulting in a premium paid of $40,000 in 2016. For the 2017 year, staff recommends that the council use $52,362 of our reserve amount for an out-of-pocket contribution of $30,000. The village will still have over $100,000 in its reserve account to cover any needed deductibles should it be needed during the year. The village, in this case, would not need to budget deductibles as we have done in the past and taken up some budget space. Budget impact, our current fiscal year 17 budget, which ends April 30th of this year, contains $72,650 for IRMA contributions. So we will have a budget savings in this area. This is spread across all the departments and the various funds of the village. So staff is recommending that the Village Council approve the IRMA 2017 annual contribution of $82,362, and then a surplus credit of $52,362 be used as an offset for the payment of $30,000.
So I would move approval of payment to the 2017 Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency of $30,000, which reflects the annual contribution of $82,362, offset by a surplus credit of $52,362.
I'll second it with just a quick question. You said that when we budget for the IRMA contributions spread across all the departments, because all the people are insured, people from every department's insured. When we do the 30,000 is it per head in each department that you're like dividing everything out, so it's
It is a
divided
pro rata
equally?
share, so the
Okay.
smaller departments do not pay as much into that.
Perfect.
Obviously, police are going to pay the most because they have the most people, the most bodies, and the most risk.
Just as long as it's distributed equally, I was just curious.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a further explanation, IRMA is, basically covers all our risk management. It's not our health insurance carrier, but it is an intergovernmental pool that has, done very good by the village. There are 60-some governmental entities that make up the pool.
So
I second it.
we have a motion and a second. Any further questions? If not, would the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Polk,
Yes.
Commissioner Milovich Walters.
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Pavladis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes, thank you.
The second item I have is for the council to consider adopting a resolution for a travel expense and reimbursement policy. Village of Palos Park, as we know, is a non-home municipality, is defined in the state constitution. The Local Government Travel Expense Control Act law requires the adoption of a resolution regulating the reimbursement of all travel, meal, and lodging expenses of officers and employees. So attached to the resolution is a policy to be adopted and also to be to replace, to amend and replace a portion of the village's personnel policy. What this basically says is that it sets our travel controls in place such that if somebody's attending conferences or so forth, they pay the conference rate plus any lodging that they may incur, subject to budgetary approval and staff approval and village manager approval. They can't exceed the costs set by the conference. They can't exceed the costs by the rooms that the conference has. And if they do, we need to come back to this body to get approvals. The IRS also issues certain rules as far as meals and incidental expenses. Those have to be followed, as well as any mileage reimbursement. That's also found in the IRS rules. So anything we would exceed from those rules would have to be approved by this body. This just sets forth a much more stringent policy, more explanation to the employees when they need to travel, the rules that they need to follow. And again, this village does not have a lot of travel. Its employees and officers very minimal, but there are times when it's advantageous for the village for its employees or officers to travel, get additional training. It provides and keeps us fresh and knowledgeable, and all that information comes to assist the village in carrying out its mission. So looking for the council to approve the aforementioned resolution, number 2017-R01, titled "A Resolution Adopting a Travel and Expense and Reimbursement Policy."
I will move exactly what he said.
Do I have a second? Second. Anyone have any questions about the travel and reimbursement policy? Just quantifying this is not something that we spend a lot of.
Some years, some departments don't spend any. We do have, certain tuition reimbursement policies, but some people do travel to different conferences from time to time. But this is not, something that we spend a lot of money on annually. But we are required by state law to have such a policy in place, so that's why we're bringing it forward.
I moved it.
Motion and a second. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Pavladis?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
And Mayor Mahoney.
Yes.
The final item I have is somewhat routine. This is for our regional water true-up costs for the year 2015. Village of Palos Park is part of a regional water system that derives its potable water through the Oak Lawn head end part of the system. Per our regional water agreement, true-up costs are owed or credited based on actual costs of operating the system. These costs include electricity, pump station maintenance, transmission main maintenance, and wholesale operating costs. The Village of Palos Park has been assessed a cost of $9,194 as our share of the 2015 true-up costs. The true-up costs that were approved last year around this time for the year 2014 were $5,403. So these costs will be going up and down over the years, so this is just setting the record straight in the balance sheet. So the Village Council is recommended to approve the 2015 water system true-up costs of $9,194, and we will remit the same to the Village of Oak Lawn.
Village Manager Babe, do you have any idea why there was an increase that was almost $1,400 short of being doubled? What was the main driver for the fluctuation in cost? Let me ask you that.
There were some, the costs are derived, as I mentioned, across all these various means. It's also personnel costs, it's health insurance costs for the system operators. So it fluctuates up and down every year. So there's a budgeted amount that everybody goes into the year, and then the actual costs are assessed at the end of the year. Depending on your usage, it depends whether we're paying or we get credited back. We're on a low end of usage compared to some of our fellow water supply customers. So our costs may go up a little bit more because we pull less out of there. So on a percentage basis, that's what happens. But there's a lot of costs that go into this. It's done on a audited basis, and that's why it takes a year to come up with what the actual costs were.
So if I heard you correctly, the main drivers were health insurance costs and maintenance costs, which somewhat drove the cost.
Electricity and other things too, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's basically, just for everyone, it's everything but the actual water that makes the water get to your house.
Right.
Just trying to simplify it because it's not something you talk about all the time, so.
Well, we got into a system, this regional water system agreement a few years ago, and this is to try to, identify and capture the actual cost of operating the system and pay, those users paying for the actual costs of that, operating that system.
And is it divided based on the per gallon ratio that comes through?
It's
to our
basically
town?
on the per
Okay.
gallon, yeah, how much we use.
Maybe I heard you crooked. The less we use, the more we're assessed?
Well, not really. You did misunderstand me, and I may misspoke on that one. We do use less than a lot of our fellow customers, so their costs are spread over many more gallons of water.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
So can you give me an idea of, so we got a true up, right? What's the total cost that we're truing up? It's not in any of this material. But I want to give people a sense of the perspective that this is a very small portion of the actual cost.
Basically, you're paying for some of this in your water rates. As they're expanding their system, they're upgrading the Harker plant and Wright plant that send the water south and send it to us. They're increasing the size of some of the mains. There's some costs that they don't know at the beginning of the year. So basically, this makes up that difference.
From the water rates.
Right.
And it's part of our agreement that we
Part
have
of the
to.
agreement that all the communities that are served by Oklahoma sign.
So if you can imagine the water rate that we're paying to Oak Lawn that isn't the Chicago rate, right? That's all the costs that we're paying to Oak Lawn that are part of this true-up cost. So it's an incredible number that is running through our system of water. 9,000 is a very small portion of it. I just want to give people that perspective. And maybe we can quantify that next time. Is it fair to say that it's millions,
Oh, yes.
right? Millions per year, and this is 9,000 is kind of the rounding error. Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I'll move to approve the 2015 water system true-up cost of $9,194 and remit the same to the Village of Oak Lawn.
Okay.
Second.
A motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yes.
Commissioner Pavlonis?
Yes.
Mayor Longman?
Yes.
If I could make just a couple follow-up comments, just so you know that staff will be bringing more information on the water system to the council in the next several months. We need to consider a number of factors as we move forward. We have passed on over the number of years the Chicago water rate increase, the Village of Oak Lawn rate increases, and those increases are for their operating systems. Chicago passed on theirs. Oak Lawn, because we're in expansion mode with them and they're putting in new pipes, so there'll be redundancy to our system, those costs will be identified. What we don't do, we haven't done in a while, is looked at our own system and its long-term viability as far as age of system, what's going to be needed in the future, and what our costs should be to cover and make sure that our water system has funds to keep it maintained over time. So we'll be looking at that and bringing more information forward to this council as to what may be considered. That's likely to include hiring a consultant to do a water rate study.
Yeah, and we haven't had one in 6, 7.
We got hit by some big costs recently, over the past few years by the Chicago system, and then with this Oak Lawn water rate, and we've raised our rates as minimally as we could, but it's really time to start taking a look at what we have. We've had a number this past year of water main breaks. Our system is aging. It's not as old as some other systems out there, but it's getting older, and we need to make sure we have adequate funding to maintain it going forward.
And you typically do water rate studies every 5 years,
Yeah, we haven't done any for...
It's been a while.
It's been a while. That's all I have.
It doesn't look like I have any announcements. Citizens and visitors comment period. Anyone from the audience like to address the council?
Mike, you can't because you're not here.
Mr. Crowhurst, would you like to come up?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to recognize the rec department with their tree decorating and lighting ceremony. I thought it was very nice this year. It gave us, the citizens on patrol, an opportunity to decorate a tree, as well as many other organizations in the village. And we took it upon ourselves to recognize the passing of Officer Barry this year. And because I was not there to help decorate the tree, they took third place in the tree lighting ceremony. So thank you again.
Are you saying otherwise they would have been last?
I'm not saying, Commissioner.
Anyone else like to address the council? If not, I would seek a motion to adjourn at this time.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you and good evening.